I'll believe in Santa Claus when I watch the Christmas Chronicles and shit like that. Don't tell me a motherfucker can gain 35 pounds in a summer.
Do you love the movies? Did you love the search for the perfect rental on a Friday night? Have you enjoyed the new version of this, searching through countless streaming services, searching for that perfect thing to watch? I know we do. Welcome to Mike and Anthony's Soda Pop Culture Club. Me, Mike, along with my co-host, Anthony.
Indubitably.
Oh, you just sound stupid, Anthony, when you use that. You just sound stupid.
I'm just another worm shit freshman.
We bring our take on a classic movie every Monday from the 80s, 90s, and beyond, during which we'll play the game and open up a six-pack of favorite scenes. We also point out a couple of generic scenes as well. And at the end of the show, we'll rate the movie 1 to 24 cans. 1 can is your foot pointing the wrong way on the football field after the play, which is that, yes. And 24 cans is scoring the winning touchdown. I mean, come on. It can't be any better than that, can it? Can it be better than that? I don't know. I don't know if it can be.
I don't know. I think 1 can would be a needle under a loincloth changing my piss. That doesn't sound fun.
You mean reverse catheter is what I'd like.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
I think either situation, not good, but one of them ends your career.
I'll tell you right now, 1 would be that. 2 would be having the backup quarterback's haircut.
Oh, well, yeah, Bobby's.
It's a fucking 2.
Okay. But before we get to all that, we want to let you know, we want to do movies suggested by our listeners, and there's only a few ways that you can do this. Best way, number 1 way, is join the Patreon, and hey, if you say you want us to do a movie, we'll do it. We'll get it put on that schedule, and we'll do the one that you request. We'll definitely get to it. And the other way, which is to me even better, is a fast pass for $25. If you send $25 to our Venmo or PayPal at Soda Pop Culture Club, we will do your movie the next week. That's the next thing we do. We'll make sure we get to it. I promise. And we do technically have a third way because it involves our website, sodapopcultureclub.com. You can go there to make movie suggestions on our suggestion portal, which we may do. And we'll do it if we feel like it and when we feel like it. It's just how it is. Just how it is. And Anthony doesn't feel like doing anything, so that tells you.
Never.
Unless you pay him, trust me.
Hey, you know what? If I'm not ejaculating, I don't feel like doing it.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay, people. But the website, just want to remind you, also has merch. You can buy some of our stuff there, which is really cool. A couple more things. We don't want to forget to share the show with your friends. And check out our Instagram, at Mike and Anthony, where obviously we don't post anything that doesn't make Anthony ejaculate. That's pretty much what we post. I forgot to post something this week, but I'm not going to say.
Dropping loads all over that.
But we actually post memes, usually related to the movies that we do. So definitely check that out. And finally, we need you to go to Apple Podcasts and hit us up for a 5-star, really an any star review, and just leave a comment. And Anthony has something to add about that because he did say something before about the comments.
Oh, yes. Leave us a comment on there. You can put your movie suggestion in the comments and we'll do it.
If you put it in a comment and we see it was done, because we can see the dates and when they're done, we would do that.
Let's just say this too, though. Don't be a dick and give us 1 star and put a movie fucking review in there because that ain't happening.
Oh, yeah. If you put a 1 star and say, Anthony's an asshole, I will do the movie. I promise. He won't.
That's fine.
I will do the movie.
No, you can say I'm an asshole. You can degrade me any way you want, but don't do it with a 1-star review.
At least give him 3 stars, people. At least give him 3 stars if you want us to do a movie. That's you don't have to love us, but damn, at least give us a reach around.
3, please. 1 for every inch that I am.
Whoa, hey.
From the ground. The ground.
Someone has some self-deprecating humor. Are you ready for the trailer on this one, man?
I said from the ground.
What? Oh.
All right.
Someone thinks full himself. Here's the trailer.
Coming soon on video cassette. Go 13!
Most of my players are farm boys, or they're from the inner cities.
Hey!
Football is their deliverance.
From different worlds.
When I turn pro, I'm gonna get you the house to go with it.
From different lives.
Welcome to college.
They've come to pursue a dream.
Any football program worth its name. Elite group of warriors.
I'm gonna bust your gut open and watch you die!
Talent unites them.
You gonna lead us to the promised land? The question is, can you boys follow me?
Competition divides them.
Darnell Jefferson, tailback. Ray Griffin, starting tailback. Yeah, I know. That's why they recruited me.
Hey, don't tell me you're falling for this guy. He's nothing. He's just another gangbanger with speed.
Pressure surrounds them.
You play that second half the way you did the first. This is what the rest of your season's gonna look like.
Thought we might take a little ride.
We go slow, no cowboy stuff.
And one man stands by them.
I'm never gonna play again, am I?
Even when they fall.
Listen to me, boy. We need you.
We're gonna ring that championship bell!
Touchstone Pictures and the Samuel Goldwyn Company present a story of what it takes
Get it up! Come on, man!
to fight the pressure, face the pain, and survive the program. Rated R.
Do you like that? That's a video
I
cassette.
mean, soon the video cassette. I was just about to say
Yeah,
that.
I did
makes
that for-
trailer.
that was a good
fucking
touch. That was a good
golden.
touch.
Yes, it is great.
And it sound and the movie guy doing in a world, it's like he has the voice, man. He has the voice, dude. So do you remember how you watched this? This is what I want to know.
Okay, I'll tell you. So here's what's funny. Now I don't necessarily remember the first time I watched it, but I will tell you, I remember babysitting my nieces as a kid. So like after school, my dad would drop me off at my sister's house because they were working. So I would babysit my nieces. And I just remember this vividly. It's like every day I had to go babysit. He'd stop, get me my 2 cheeseburger meal from McDonald's. I'd be sitting there munching on that shit. Like a lot of times they'd be napping. So I was watching the program. I don't know how many fucking times I watched that there while eating McDonald's.
So you have a sensory memory of the double cheeseburger?
Very much so, yes. Yes, very much so.
You should have ate one during this. You'd have complete total recall.
And I don't remember if it was like that I feel like it was probably like on HBO or Showtime or something. And I kept watching it or something. I can't remember what the deal was, but I know I was watching that there all the fucking time.
Yeah, when this came out, it had a lot of hype because of a scene that was cut, if you remember correctly.
I do.
And so, it was my senior year of high school. So I actually saw it in the theater, but I saw it too late to see the controversial scene.
I know. I remember seeing the preview for it, and it was in there.
And it was in the preview, for sure.
Yes.
Strangely, it was. That's where you remember seeing it the most. It's like a false... they say you have false memories of it being in the movie, but it never was in the movie, but you remember it from the movie because you saw it in that.
Well, now, here's my question. Was it in the movie, though?
Originally it was for like the first opening weekend, and then they had to go and cut.
Dipshits had to ruin it for the whole bunch.
Yeah. Well, because somebody, the whole thing, it's a thing. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into the dipshits.
Instead of the disclaimer, do not fucking try this at home, you dipshits.
Isn't that amazing how you have to say that right before you hit yourself in the nuts with the 2x4?
You know what? And I'm sorry.
Hey,
you shouldn't have to say it, okay? This is fucking Darwinism. You shouldn't have to say it.
Don't stick your finger in a light socket. Please, don't do it. Don't try this at home. That's like you have to say that.
Don't
like
eat a Tide Pod.
How come we can watch horror movies and we're not out ripping people's heads off? And they don't have to put that disclaimer up there.
Because when you watch horror, that's a lot more effort than laying down in a fucking street.
True. You're right. Yeah. I would agree. I know what time it is, though, Anthony. Do you know what time it is?
Oh, I know what time it is.
It's time to play the game. And you know what the game is. Everyone should know what the game is. The game is where I'm going to read 3 movie reviews for this movie specifically. And 2 of them are real. 1 of them is fake. And you have to guess which one it is. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, can I guess now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's get it over with.
You want to guess right now before I read them which one is?
No, because you'll change the order. Just go ahead.
No, I won't. I wouldn't. I promise. But hey, whatever.
Go ahead.
All right. Marjorie Baumgarten, Austin Chronicle. Hardly any shattering revelations here, and certainly no blame placing. Rebecca Howe, The Boston Globe. A melodramatic view of college sports. This movie lacked nuance. Norman Chad, Washington Post. One might want to consider wearing a helmet while watching. All right, there. Are you here?
I'm here. I'm thinking.
It's like, man,
Read the second one again.
The second one is Rebecca Howe, The Boston Globe. A melodramatic view of college sports. This movie lacked nuance.
Read the first one again.
Marjorie Baumgarten, Austin Chronicle. Hardly any shattering revelations here, and certainly no blame placing. Norman Chad, Washington Post. One might want to consider wearing a helmet while watching. Now, see, if you're on a date, you might be wearing a helmet for a totally different reason while watching this.
I'm gonna guess the first one.
All right, now if I were to tell you were wrong, which of the other two would you pick?
I don't fucking know. I would guess if I was gonna pick, I would say the second one.
And why is that?
Because you're not lazy enough to write the third one.
Well, that is true. I did not write the third one. It was the second one, but you should have known Rebecca Howe was Kirstie Alley's character in Cheers. Rebecca Howe owned the bar.
Actually, I don't care about that. I didn't watch Cheers. I'd seen Cheers on. You know this, dickhead.
Making your way in this world today, it takes everything you've got.
I don't got that much. I've seen Cheers. I mean, it was always on like at my house.
Yes, Rebecca Howe.
But I didn't remember what her name was in it.
Oh, okay.
You know, Sam Malone. I would have known that.
Would you? What about what's his name's Fraser's wife? What's her name? I forget.
You don't even know it.
I can't remember her fucking name right now.
I remember her. I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
See, you go Cheers, then
I got you with the Cheers one, and that's like one of the most popular shows of all time. So that's a good one.
I actually, the reason I picked the first one is because that sounded like a review you would write, because it sounded like a more recent review.
Yeah.
About no blame, obviously, and I don't know. It did seem like the one you had written. That's all.
All right, give us the numbers, man.
So what I'm saying is, good job. You're getting better at writing shitty reviews like these shitsters. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Break down my numbers. Directed by David S. Ward and starring James Caan, Craig Sheffer, Omar Epps, Halle Berry, Christy Swanson, Abraham Ben-Ruby, or Kubiak for those in the know, and down with Parker Lewis.
Parker Lewis can't lose.
That's right. Andrew Briniarski and Dwayne Davis. And a bit role by Joey Lauren Adams as the coach's daughter getting boinked by the backup quarterback with the shitty-ass haircut. The program was released on September 24th, 1993, taking in $23 million at the box office against a reported $15 to $20 million budget. It scores 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb and 43% on Rotten Tomatoes.
This is a cult classic, but I wanted to talk about Joey Lauren Adams for a second. It's amazing that how many football players does she have sex with in movies? Since we know in Dazed and Confused, did she have sex with Randall Pink and?
Oh yes,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is she just down for the quarterback? At least
and then in Chasing Amy, how many football players she probably had sex with there?
Oh well, 2 at a time.
Yeah, finger cuffs.
I mean, Rick Darris had to be, or whatever. Who was it that she chased around the thing? Who chased her around the thing with the one guy?
No. She fucked Rick Darris. Well, wait. It was, she fucked Rick Darris in 2 different movies. Mallrats as well, on the pool table.
He has to be a football player. He was in good shape.
Yeah, I don't know. He was like a weightlifter, so I don't know if he played football or what.
That universe is fucked up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, man. But no, Joey Lauren Adams, she was in Dazed and Confused as well, which is a banger. She had 2 really good movies that year. if you ask me. She was in what? This one is not as good as Dazed and Confused, obviously. Dazed and Confused is like a classic.
Yeah.
But this one is a cult classic, and a lot of people like it that follow it, and still watch it. So
I got a cult classic that she was in.
what was that?
I love SFW.
What's that?
You never seen SFW?
Why would I?
Because it's fucking epic.
All right.
Steven Dorff. Reese
I love
Witherspoon.
Steven Dorff, so maybe I should watch this.
Reese Witherspoon. So
What?
fucking what?
I don't remember. I've never watched that. Sorry.
They get trapped in a convenience store by fucking terrorists, basically, for like.
I didn't watch that. No.
Oh my
Sorry.
God, you haven't seen that? Look it
Well,
up.
hey, I've seen a lot of shit, but that's one
That's
I
one
haven't.
you gotta see, though. Damn, we're gonna have to do
okay,
a podcast on that one for
How
sure.
many? Well, you know what, people? If you want me to watch this, the best way is to maybe make a suggestion on it.
I'm gonna make a comment. I'm gonna leave us a comment so we do it.
And I'll know it's him because it'll be a brand new Apple account because he don't have a fucking Apple account. So,
I have an Apple account.
do you?
Yeah.
That's right. You do have a Mac, don't you?
No, I have an Apple.
You don't. How do you have an Apple account then?
What do you mean?
How do you have one if you don't have any Apple products? What would you need one for?
I have one. I'm just saying.
That's
So
just so
you
fucking
use
weird.
iTunes, or I used to.
Yeah. Okay.
I have an
Whatever.
Apple account. You ninny shit.
I mean, why would I have an account for anything that I don't use? I mean, that's just.
Because I used to use iTunes before technology evolved.
Before you devolved, I get it. So
Exactly.
understandable. You devolved. Okay, so let's get to this movie.
Yes. Please, you fucking wet ham sandwich. Come on.
This one. There's a lot of plots in this movie that they get into, and I want to talk about that for a second. It runs multiple stories at once, right?
Yes.
And I think for me, it reasonably tells a lot of those stories. We have the hotshot new recruit, Darnell.
Yes. Jeff
and
Sim.
his love triangle and playing time and all that. We have obviously Latimer and the roids situation.
Gotta have that.
And the coach, him dealing with
Bud
2
Kilmer's
seasons in a row
cousin.
without making a bowl.
Bud Kilmer's cousin.
Yeah, which I want to talk about this a second, this coach, but 2 seasons without getting to a bowl and dealing with these players and those problems that I've just outlined. Bobby Collins, another deal he had to deal with. That's a kind of a weird storyline that they threw in here to make an undercurrent story. And then obviously the biggest story throughout the thing is Joe Kane and his romance and his fall
Alcoholism.
from grace and all that, and his drinking, of course. So, but the coach, what was I going to say about him? I fucking forget already. I'm fucking an idiot. But the coach, he's the biggest. He's good. He's great. Like you say, he's Bud Kilmer's cousin. But what gets me about him is that he's so good. But this program we're talking about, we have a Heisman candidate, and this coach is on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be a good team, but they said they didn't make a bowl in 2 years. That means they didn't win more than 5 games the last 2 years, right?
That I still am like.
How does this team not? Or did they say major bowl? Was that really the thing?
I think it was Major Bowl.
Because they do say that once, they implied before that they didn't go to a bowl at the beginning scene. That really rainy fucking game, which shouldn't have been played.
So just since we're doing semantics here with is it this or is it this, I'm gonna give my generic for the movie right now. There's plenty of stuff I could.
I have another generic for you. I'm gonna call that.
There's plenty of stuff I could pick, but this one just it drives me on my fucking mind. NC2A.
Oh,
He keeps calling it that instead of NCAA. I'm like, that just like, oh my God.
There's people who did that though? Then like maybe
but man.
NCAA is how you say it though, right?
I'm just saying like overdub it and redo it.
Yeah,
and
just fucking get rid of that.
You took out the fucking car scene. You could just change that. You've already changed the movie enough.
Yeah,
There's plenty of generics, but that's gonna be one of my main ones that I would give there for that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. There are some things like that bother you. I mean, James Caan played a good coach.
Yes.
To me, he played a great coach.
A good bad coach. I mean,
Well, yeah,
Do you think he's a bad coach, or is he like?
I think he's a good coach.
Here's my thing, though. You see in the beginning with Lat, all of a sudden he comes back and his lats are 5 times bigger than
Lat's got lats.
Yeah, we got lats. And the coaches are talking about, and then he comes in, he's like, "Hey, this is what
anybody can gain 35 pounds.
Yeah, if you hit the gym hard." So he's basically kind of ignoring shit until it's thrown in his face. Then he deals with it. And, then he's like, you need to kick these roids. But basically, he doesn't have anybody's well-being. It's all about his job.
I think this movie does a better job, because I have a comment here. Is this Blue Chips, but with football? And I think with this, it's kind of like he's not as bad as Nick Nolte's character in Blue Chips. Nick Nolte's character knowingly took a bite out of the poisoned apple.
He did, but I feel like, I disagree. I think James Caan in this role has nibbled at the poisoned apple plenty.
Well, I would say he's passed it. He's held it. I don't know about it.
Plenty of shit. We see this throughout. He covers.
Yeah, I mean, if he knows that there are the handshakes at post game parties.
He's trying to keep his job and avoid investigation.
He knows he doesn't want investigations because he knows shit's going on. He knows Latimer's one test away, possibly. But I feel he's one of those coaches that he does mean well overall, but because that's why he made some of the choices he did throughout this movie.
You know what? I don't know. I think there's a lot.
I don't think he's Bud Kilmer at all. I think he's
I know he's not. No,
he's got a heart. I think he's got a heart, but he needs to win. I think it's like he's a good coach and a good person, but he has to win. So he's letting some things go that probably he wouldn't.
He lets stuff go until he has to deal with it, though.
That's right. When it is a problem, he deals with it.
If we don't get caught for it, then nothing happened.
That's right. Which I don't, and to me, I feel that's every football coach, I think, in America. I don't think there's hardly any that self-report unless they're going to be found out, right? Like,
oh yeah.
So I don't think that. I think he's no different than any other thing out there.
Which I guess, yeah. I mean, now that I think about it, I guess, yeah, that's about the only way you could play that character and have it written.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job with it. So
he's no Wayne Fonts. Let's just say that.
He's no Wayne Fonts. The like I said, 5-win team with the Heisman candidate just kind of, that's the number one thought I had after the opening scene.
Yeah, I think it was Major Bowl.
Yeah, you think I don't know, because he was at home. Remember, he says next year I won't be here on the couch, which is going to lead me to my first six pack, which is the beer can tree, Christmas tree.
Mine too. Okay. Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Love that. That is amazing. Like, that is how you decorate a fucking tree. I need to do one of those.
Indubitably.
It is going to be the personification of pulchritude.
I will excoriate all over that. Or whatever.
Not if I excoriate first on it.
Do you have any large words like loquacious? Excoriate.
Verisimilitude.
Verisimilitude. Another football movie. Yeah, that is bringing it in.
It's not a football movie.
Verisimilitude? What's that from?
Pie.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, well, I thought it was football. So there you go.
Lacrosse.
Yeah, lacrosse.
Lacrosse movie.
Lacrosse movie.
Pie, the lacrosse movie.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So Darnell, his character, he's one of the first stories we get into as well. He's getting recruited and then he comes for his visit. And, I don't even know if they're allowed to do what they're doing in this movie anymore. The big band thing. I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't even know if that's a thing.
I don't know if they do. I think they just get you laid on your visits.
That's Louisville. And if Rick Pitino's the coach,
dude, that's not just Louisville.
Well, they got caught.
Right. It's not just Louisville, though. Come on, let's not be stupid.
I can say that and know it was true.
It's funny though when the coach's visit though, that was very Blue Chips to me.
Oh, where he just barely knows anything and he's able to.
But he's like,
spin a line.
My students take real classes.
Yeah. He did. It was very Blue Chips.
My students take real classes, except for my backup quarterback.
And that's probably why I had is this blue like that early in the movie when they visit. I had that line on here because I was watching. I was like, man, this just feels wrong.
But did Blue Chips come out before or after that?
I think it was slightly after.
That's what I felt like, yeah.
So I think they copied a little off this. I think they tried to do this, but with basketball. It's like they should have known it didn't work.
It's like a loosely based sequel. They just changed it to basketball.
Yes, and I have a theory, though, when you talk about sequels. We're talking about Darnell, right? I want to talk about his visit, though. It was strange in the sense that, what's her name? Halle Berry's character shows him around. And do you think she led him on purpose so he would go there?
It's part of her job.
Yeah, but here's what makes it weird is because I don't get the vibe because of how we see her later with her father and she's a football groupie.
Yeah, here's the thing with her. I don't fucking understand her character at all in this movie.
Is she a football groupie or is
she is?
I don't know, man.
So yeah, she like when you watch this again, it's like, what the fuck are you doing, lady?
Yeah, that's what I was watching. I was like,
I mean, she wasn't leading him on at the visit. He was on the offensive.
He put the full court press, but she didn't say no.
But she didn't. But remember, she was mad at her boyfriend because she caught him with a white girl.
Now, how does that age in today?
Not well.
Oh my! I mean, come on. We gotta have a little more sensitivity to those things. Back then, they did not.
Holy shit!
I forgot about that when I was watching. Oh, I guess back then we didn't think that way. Now it's like, oh, you can't say that now. I mean, you gotta. I mean, even if you think it, you gotta at least be a little more diplomatic.
There's a lot of shit in this movie. It's just like,
what the fuck? I mean, there is, but I want to round out Darnell though with that is that I thought maybe she was a football groupie at that point, and I think that was strange how she leads him on a little bit, and then when he gets there, is just totally standoffish. I mean, that is kind of I don't know. Well, at least he didn't do to her what Latimer did to that one girl.
Oh god damn!
I won't go to that yet. I'll just say that just to fuck with you. Not yet.
But see, I don't think she was leading him on. Like I said, I think she was doing her job,
which is him.
Not giving him a job, but
no,
she was doing what she does, showing people around campus and all that. He was pushing,
Yeah, he was.
He was being all Mac Daddy smooth and shit, and then he went in for the kiss, and she was like, "I don't know what to do right now because."
So you think she just
really need him to play for us? So
she just took it for the team. Took one for the team. I get it.
But you know what's funny though? Now you say it. I never thought of this. It is interesting though. She was mad at her boyfriend, which I get because obviously fucking white girl. What you talking about? But here she is doing her best to appease Darnell, her boyfriend's replacement.
A better player.
Yes.
Now,
well, not according to Darnell. He's just another gangbanger with speed.
So yeah, he gets in that love triangle. That's what happens there. And then we have Latimer and his roids, like I said.
Yes.
Latimer's an interesting character. We learned that he was just pretty much a special teams player.
Yeah.
And he goes to fucking defensive end.
The punt team.
Yeah. To being a starting defensive end that is that bad. He had to have some ability.
You cannot gain 35 fucking pounds in one summer. Now, this is where, okay, come on. I can suspend disbelief in movies for certain things.
Yeah.
I'll believe in Santa Claus when I watch the Christmas Chronicles and shit like that. Don't tell me a motherfucker can gain 35 pounds in a summer.
Of total muscle. and then become almost as good as that All-American linebacker
Right.
that played his position.
You're eating like 4,000 calories every meal, and you're not shitting to gain that.
I want to know what my question was. What's the size? Does he have raisins now between his legs? Because that gives you.
I don't know, but I bet he does. That's why he was going for the tiny girl.
Oh yeah, because he had genital retraction disease, or whatever it's called. There's something it's called when you do roids. It's not a good thing. Let's put it that way. It's not a good thing.
California raisin syndrome.
Another now, Kane. I want to get to this because I have a generic here, and early on in this movie,
his hair.
No, you know what? I would do Craig Sheffer in this movie. I don't know,
or his tucked-in shirt. That's gotta never.
That's
come
90s.
back.
Come on, let's not making fun of the style that we all wore.
Don't ever tuck in your shirt unless it's mandatory or it's a funeral.
In the 90s, we did that. Now, come on, and we bloused it. Okay, so
I know.
But no, early on when they're doing the Heisman campaign thing, I just thought the slogan "Kane is able" was stupid.
Why?
I don't know. And I was watching this with my wife. Even she's the one who said it first. How dumb she thought that sounded.
Like, I'm gonna listen to your wife's opinion about.
Well, I agreed. I'd already thought about it being stupid. That was one of my generics on here. I have multiple generics.
I don't think that's that bad.
Okay.
I mean,
now, what?
What else? What would be a better slogan?
I don't know. Pour some sugar cane on me.
Cane the slaves.
Oh, ow! Come on, man! Come on!
I'm just saying, cane them all.
Cane. I don't know. Sugar cane. That's all I'm saying. Something with sugar cane. I don't know. You're right. I don't know. I don't know what it would be, but I know that sounded dumb too. So someone who's good at marketing could probably find something great.
Paul Metzler. You Betzler.
Carl. Yes. Him. Carl Metzler should have thought of a better thing. Now, I want to talk about the practice where Omar Epps gets...
Oh, holy shit.
What?
Let's all sniff some Joe Kane.
It's all sniff some Joe Kane.
There you go.
It's Joe Kane. Joe Kane, addictive.
Get buzzed on Joe Kane.
So in the practice, Darnell is laying on the ground, and do you know what's the question?
Are you injured or are you hurt?
And I was going to say, Anthony, are you injured or are you hurt on this podcast?
I'm fucking injured.
And I've used that line. That is one line I can say I have used from this movie. And, I've said to people, hey, when someone's like,
are you hurt or are you injured?
Are you injured or are you hurt? Because, if you're injured, you can't play.
If you're hurt, you can still play. If you're injured, you can't.
But that really shows how different we are now about injuries. Because when you watch throughout this movie, now they would have all the trainers out there and they would go back into a tent. They'd go through concussion protocol.
Not in practice, they wouldn't.
I don't know about practice, but I know in the games where they had all those injuries, that would be the standard thing. And they wouldn't come back in the game, probably be a questionable to return.
You know what, though? Like, the stuff you're even talking about right now, this is all new in the last year, basically.
I know. So, last 5 or 6 years, it's changed a lot.
But this year, especially since Tua, that's when it really fucking changed.
Now, since
like,
you know what you like
the tent. Sorry, I feel like the tent up until Tua getting hurt for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
I feel like the tent was
a prop,
a formality.
Yeah, it's like a prop, not a thing. Yeah,
right. Then,
it was just there.
Then actually using it like they do now.
They're probably going on there and getting one of those massages that
the bowl of free condoms at college that probably 20 years expired.
So, but I want to tell you a little story because when I was watching this practice, it reminded me because I'm such not an athlete. When I was playing football in middle school, what?
Oh, Tecmo Bowl.
In 8th grade, I was playing real football.
Okay.
And the collision drills. I got a story about that because you got to remember, I went 100%. That's why people liked the way I played football back then. And we used to do a drill where, like they showed there, where both of you ran to each other to a cone at a diagonal, and you just hit each other as hard as you could. So I would do that drill. What?
Oklahoma drill.
That's what they call it. I don't know what the drill was. I just knew blow the whistle, Mike run really fast and hit the other kid really hard. So I would do that, and I remember I'd hit people so hard for myself that I wouldn't be able to feel my shoulders until I probably got back to the front of the line the next time. And I know there are a few people that jumped out of the line because of how hard I would go. So you don't know that about me.
Why'd you stop playing football then?
Well, that year, sadly, I ended up being academically ineligible.
Oh, because you were stupid. That's why you quit.
I'm obviously not stupid. I just was not motivated. I was.
Man.
And then the next year, I was so good at golf, I decided to play golf. But then
you don't need grades for golf.
But letting you know, but that's when the head coach came up to me and said, "Hey, Mike, the next 2 years, the head coach of the football team was like, Mike, we want you to come play running back. We want you to come play football." So,
but you couldn't.
Wanted to play golf because it was easy.
Because you couldn't pass math.
No, I could pass math.
Or science.
You know what I couldn't pass? I couldn't pass up on not doing my work. It was not about knowing it, because I passed all my tests. I'll be honest, I'm a great test taker. It's like if I sit in class and just listen, I learn. That's kind of like how I am. But don't quote me on that.
I won't.
How do you learn, Mike? I forget. Anyways, but that's my story. I used to hit people so hard that way. Matter of fact, one kid, I hit him so hard, he quit the team, and we saw him running track next week.
So I got to tell you, I'm going to admit this now. I did get snot bubbles once.
On you?
On me, yes.
Oh, yeah. I would have done that to you if I could.
So we were, 1 year, and so God, what was I? I was like, 20-something.
Oh.
Mid-20s. So some friends of mine decided they wanted to do flag football.
Oh.
Okay. Which I was like, okay, cool. So, I thought it'd be fun. So we, got a team together. Now, keep in mind, this is like, this team, very Mighty Ducks-ish, I would say, to describe us.
A ragtag group of idiots.
We were not physically fit athletes. We played backyard football all the time.
Knuckle pucking it.
So I just remember there's this one. I think it was like the first game we played too, because it was like half snowing that day.
Yeah.
And we were not dressed for the snow either, because I didn't know it was going to fucking snow that day. So it was freezing my balls off.
Good for you.
But I remember just this one play. Now I find out, again, we get there and find out, oh shit, we're playing against every former fucking high school player I went to school with on a team. And I was chasing after somebody or something. A guy came around and just like knocked me into the fucking ground. And boom. It's like, snot bubbles really do exist.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
It's a thing. The last time I probably played football, backyard football, was with Brittany's friends in the front yard of the house out by our mother-in-law. Like the house that Josh used to live in. We used to live there.
We played for like 5 minutes once, remember?
Did I?
Yeah. We were throwing the football around.
Oh, that's just me throwing around. That wasn't me.
No, we ran like a couple plays. We actually did a couple times with.
You've not seen me actually run and stiff arm somebody, have you?
I haven't actually seen you run. So
okay, yeah. This is back when I played with Toby's friends back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you I was.
Well,
You don't think I was an athlete, but it's okay.
I believe
it's
you.
Okay.
Saying, let's get the flags out. Let's go.
My favorite thing is a stiff arm in the chest and watching somebody's knees melt.
Wow.
That is my favorite thing. Okay, so let's get back to this movie.
Okay.
So let's get into Joe Kane and his romance. So he meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No.
When she's in college.
We're not calling her Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because she does not resemble Buffy in any way, shape, or form in this fucking movie. I don't know what they did to her or why they did it, but that's bullshit.
You don't think she was cute?
They made her all grungy dressed and shit. She looked like a hobo.
I would say she was hot when that last outfit, when he meets her after he says, I was waiting here for you at the end.
Yeah.
Like she was pretty hot with that halter top thing. But I thought she was cute.
All right, here's my thing. Christy Swanson drives me nuts.
She's good looking.
No. Here's the thing. I had a big crush on her growing up. Buffy.
Of course.
Like, no doubt.
The chase probably
even
did it for you.
The end of Pretty in Pink, all that shit. But she's all weird now. She's all opinionated and political about fucking shit.
Is she? I don't know what she is now.
God,
I only see her from then.
She is just, I'm like, no, I'm done with that. No. I mean, I've been done with that.
Would I be out? Is that what you're saying? Would I be out?
I don't know. She's just, like a little too opinionated for me.
A little too there.
So Buffy, her in this movie actually reminds me of the scene in Buffy where she's going dress shopping and she's walking down the street. Jason Priestley comes up on his motorbike.
Yeah.
Just the way she's got like boots on and like walking like a tomboy.
Yeah.
That's her in this movie.
But she's,
like, I'm just saying, no,
hot. I don't know.
She is hot, but then she's got the Seattle grunge look going.
Hey, what was big in '93? You know,
I know. I mean, like it didn't work. Just make her hot. Just let her be herself. She was fucking hot. Let her be hot.
Yeah,
she's a goddamn tennis player. Let her wear a fucking tennis skirt.
Yeah, funny enough, that would have been great
through the whole movie.
but I have a 6-pack with them, and I like that their competition
and the dark hair too. No,
I have a 6-pack with them, and I think I like their competition, like how competitive they were. How she played him at tennis, and he and they played at racquetball. And they tried to
kill her on a motorcycle.
Yeah, that. But I do like that. The problem with that is like she obviously can't keep up with him. It's at most sports. I don't know why. I mean, she's pretty.
Well, she's athletic for sure.
Yeah.
But she can't keep up with his crazy.
Yeah, and I want to get to the crazy. Right?
I'm sorry. I do want to throw in my first 6-pack because I haven't yet.
Go ahead.
And I actually just like the bar scene.
Which one with them?
The first bar scene with the team.
Oh yeah, where they're just talking shit and the
I
rookie
love that.
thing, and
they're talking about the article about Joe and all this stuff, and the whole "I'll lead." Question is, will you boys follow? Like, I know it's very testosterone-y, but I like that scene because you kind of see the main characters of the team that we're dealing with here.
I
see
agree.
them all hang out and everything. I thought that was a cool scene.
It was a good scene. I did enjoy that. Kind of put the rookie in his place, that type of thing. So yeah, I'm trying to find some more things here because I didn't, like I said, I didn't do a good job of making great notes on this one.
You failed.
So, yeah, I did. Oh, let's talk about Alvin Mack. Mack. Now,
man,
this is a rough one because he only reads at I don't even think fourth grade level, even though that's what they said. But I mean, come on. Even a fourth grader.
See the shoe? Says Adidas.
Yeah. Did they pay for that spot?
I don't know.
Did they pay to be in this movie?
I really don't know.
And they were a punchline for the dumbest character in the movie. That would be awful. But no, he's what we were watching. We're like, he's obviously smart enough that when they went through the defensive plays, he could diagnose all that. So it makes me wonder if somehow you could harness that.
No, here's the thing. He's Andy Katzenmoyer.
Oh.
There you go.
See, yep, but let's put some context to that for people who may not know. Here in Ohio, there was a very, very talented linebacker from here in Central Ohio that ended up going to Ohio State and was a superstar. But from what we understand, people who met him, he was dumber than a box of rocks.
Dumb as shit. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that's what it was. But
he ended up going pro, making money, so he got lucky.
Thing. But here's the thing. And when we say dumb as shit, we don't know him, but we do know people that have met him.
Yes, we do know people.
Experience.
Yeah, first-hand experience.
So what I'm saying is, it's funny because that's a parallel for us because when you look at this movie, that was Mac. He just didn't give a fuck because he believed he was going pro. He's like, he was Cardale Jones. I don't need to play school.
I agree.
Play football.
Now, the thing with Mac, do you think they played up the how poor he was angle too much? Did they make him too poor? Or is that a real thing? Were people really that poor?
Yes. People still are. What are you talking about?
I meant like they showed him out in a wood shanty in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
That seemed, even in 93, seems a little excessive. Like, I feel it would have been a different, he'd have been poor, right? Like, but I'm thinking it may have been a different style of poor.
No. There's plenty of people that are that poor still.
Okay, I agree, but do they get the opportunities to go play football?
Yeah, because that's their way out.
I guess maybe, I don't know. Are you thinking like a dream that you hope that's what it is, or is that the normal reality? That's what I want to know. I don't know if that's so normal that is a good depiction, or was it played a little too hard? You know,
I don't think it was played too hard. I think it was great because I really do think like you watch football on TV. They do the stories about people, you know, pregame stuff, and you show all these different things. But that's basically all you see. You know what I mean? And if you don't watch the pregame, you don't fucking know. Like, there's so many, like, I don't think people understand, and I'm not just football, but in general, like, people don't understand, like, the shit people go through and where they came from and stuff like that. Like, I think that's very, very fucking real.
I think now it's totally different. I think now most players have been playing since they were 6 years old. Even if you weren't affluent, you still probably played because if you were so good, people helped prop you up through it. So I feel now it's different. I think now it's different.
I don't know. I mean,
far fewer of those stories that you see of Alvin Mack, I think, now than you do then.
No, there's not, because you know why?
Why?
No, it's because once they get hurt, you don't hear from them again.
Of course.
Nobody cares.
They're working at Texaco.
That's your fucking... Exactly.
After they got cut by old Tex.
Exactly. That's your reality.
But you want to know something?
If you don't give a shit about school and you were stupid, that's politically correct, I don't know. But if you didn't fucking care and then you get hurt, nobody fucking cares. Nobody hears from you again.
But I want to tell you that Mac, what's interesting is Dwayne Davis, I think is his name. His father was Alvin Davis, who was a Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Browns and the Packers. And he, too, went to Missouri and played football. And after his sophomore year, had knee injuries that ended his football career.
There you go.
So he actually played a role that he lived. Maybe that's why he played it so well. Although they seem to be over the top, overacting. Him and Latimer seem to be like way over the top with their acting.
I don't think so.
Like the shit he says on the field, I know for a fact those refs would call something because you're not allowed to cuss on the field.
No, now you're not. That was a rule that they implemented less than 10 years ago.
I don't think so. I think back then, if you were saying that shit, he would have been called. Now, the one guy, I remember one guy who was a lineman who was saying it, and he was down low. They wouldn't hear that as much. But if you're like a linebacker running around saying, "You killed my mama, you mother effer," and blah, 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 this...
Got my sister pregnant and you fucked my turtle.
Yeah, I mean, if you were saying all that shit, which is weird, those refs, I have to believe they would have called something, man. There's just no way.
They didn't back then. Even in the NFL, they didn't until not that long ago. There's no 15 yards talking shit penalty.
Yeah, there's no 15 yards talking shit. But I want to get to, because Alvin and Latimer share a moment that I want to call an Anthony generic, but a Mike six-pack.
Okay.
Because you had to watch it.
That is definitely
the mouth
That's
spit.
The gross out generic for sure.
When he spits in his mouth, he spits it. But, it's a six-pack for me because I knew you had to watch it, and I could just imagine your feeling.
I hate it. I still fucking hate it.
Oh, I think it's disgusting. And my wife didn't remember that they did that. So that's definitely what it is.
I call that Spit Simon.
Now, I want to
Alvin Simon Lattimore.
Lattimore, let's talk about Lattimore a little more. Let's get to the bad parts of Lattimore here.
Let's talk about him a little more.
and it's obviously a generic of mine. So this could be
This
a
is
generic.
bad,
It has
yeah.
to be the attempted rape
Yeah.
/ assault scene. It was so bad I forgot how bad it was. It was it's uncomfortable to watch almost.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And
It's
then
just messed up.
what is worse about it is the reaction is that the father is a booster,
Yes.
so they're
He
not
doesn't
going to
want
do
to hurt the
anything about it.
program.
But the coaches aren't worried about that part of it. They're worried about, well, how long are we going to lose Lattimore for?
Yeah.
Is he on the roids? Like it's not like the girl gone once they. It's like
I'm gonna tell you right now, like
today that wouldn't be the case.
fucking kidding me?
He would have been canceled and in jail.
I'm talking about the dad.
Oh yeah, that too.
You're fucking. Are you serious?
That's. I don't know. As a father,
You
I
don't
would.
want to hurt the program? Like, no.
They're lucky I don't take his nutsack if he had one left.
Right. It's tiny now.
It's little
Tiny.
raisins.
Tiny. Raisinets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's messed up though.
It is. That's what I'm saying. With that, that's one of the worst scenes I've seen, and I wonder if that's what keeps it from being popular, or like there are scenes, there are things in this movie that you go, man, that's wrong, and I wonder if that's what does it.
I gotta say one thing though that didn't match up.
Yeah.
In that scene, actually, is him throwing her.
Yeah.
Which it didn't match up. Like him pushing her around, throwing her.
You thought it, like, was it the wrong angle or?
No. With his size compared to her size and the fucking fit of rage he was in.
She should have gone through the window.
She should have been unconscious at least.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying I want to see that. I'm just saying, like, when you, like, from a, like,
when you
continuity
look at
kind of thing, like, when you're looking at, like, there's no fucking way that doesn't at least have a limp or something.
I don't know why the Parker Lewis dude didn't beat his ass. Like, why didn't they kick his ass? I mean, I don't understand. Like, are they all just so apologetic to each other?
Well, I think first it took both of them to corral him.
Yeah, true.
Because he's on juice, they're not.
I would agree.
So, oh man, how great would that have been?
Yeah.
Omar Epps comes in there.
Oh,
I got the juice. I got the juice now.
I have a theory on this.
Tupac. I got the juice now.
I have a theory on this movie. On this though, Omar Epps in this movie.
Yeah.
Darnell. I think. Do you know the show House?
Yes.
And he's on there as Dr. Foreman.
I don't watch.
I think this is Dr. Foreman in college because literally about that many years later, he ends up taking a job. I think he changes his name and becomes Dr. Foreman, becomes a doctor because that's what the other guy was going to be, so he can keep his girl, but he loses her anyways. I just think that those two universes could come together.
I disagree. I think what happened, here's what I think happened. Darnell, after that season, was still stupid. Ended up flunking out of college, tried baseball, and then he played for the Cleveland Indians.
Oh.
As Wesley Snipes' replacement.
Well, which is funny because I have in here that I don't think Darnell grew very much as a character.
Fuck no, he didn't.
In this movie. I mean, he literally doesn't change at all. And the most thing he does pass his test, but that's the only thing he does.
It's his placement test. It's not even a test.
Yeah, he had to pass that at some point.
Yeah, because Lattimore, didn't he flunked 12 times before he got in?
Yeah, he said flunked many times. I forget how many. At least 4 times.
12, no, I thought he said 12 or something.
Oh, yeah. But
maybe
here's
it was 4.
thing.
I don't know.
But I just want to say this about Darnell too. He need not fall for the first girl he saw on campus.
Unless it's Halle Berry.
Even then. I mean, he could have been like played it off.
I will say no because yes, Halle Berry, gorgeous woman, not in those fucking clothes. This just goes back to the Christy Swanson, the whole 90s vibe.
They really didn't.
These are not attractive outfits, people.
They did not sex him up. And the reporter's jacket on that interview.
It didn't
What
sex
the
him
fuck
up
is that?
because it did look like something fucking Color Me Bad would wear.
This is awful. Yeah, this looked
the-
like everybody was
gosh.
dressed like Amy Grant. They all dressed like Amy Grant.
They do.
Back then.
What? Even Omar Epps dressed like Amy Grant with the vest and everything. I'm pretty sure that was like Amy Grant.
Or Debbie Gibson. Remember when she used to wear the hat and the blazer?
Yes.
They had the Debbie Gibson looking, but it was past that look by then.
Very Electric Youth.
Electric Youth. Oh man, but I want to get into Joe Kane having to go to rehab, right?
But he said no,
which wasn't his fault. That fight was not his fault, in my opinion. That guy grabbed him.
That guy was an asshole and deserved what he got too.
I mean, what's he supposed to do? Take a beating from the guy? Then he misses games anyways.
Fucking townies.
Looking
at my girl.
Supposed to be like taps.
She was looking at him first. So now you can give me that shit. She was looking at him first.
That doesn't matter to him. You know that. To the guy. But so he gets. So he's out, and so is obviously Latimer because of the roids thing. But how bad is the third string quarterback that you're willing to fucking bring Bobby Collins, who used your daughter to cheat on a test,
fuck your daughter.
And fuck your daughter. And you know this.
He doesn't. Did he know that?
Yeah. She said she thought he loved her.
Yeah,
so he knew that. Yeah. So I'm just saying.
I mean,
how bad is that third string quarterback? He has to be shit. So fucking bad that he doesn't even know the playbook. Like I don't even know.
Oh, like blow the whistle.
That's that guy. It's that guy. He's Robert Downey Jr. in Johnny Be Good, the movie we did recently.
Exactly.
I mean, that's really, these two movies are totally different in how they approach the whole college experience. Of course, one's getting into college, but definitely a different animal. One's more realistic than the other, I would say. No one-eyed gibblers.
There's pluses and minuses to both stories, I think.
I'd say there are more pluses in this one than there are the minuses of the other one. But definitely. There's more minuses in the other one than anything, though. And also, I want to talk about Latimer. When you see him take all of his needles and shit and flush it down the toilet.
You don't flush syringes down the toilet. What the fuck? God damn it.
This guy's just wrong.
He just doesn't understand basic plumbing.
Or the fact that you don't know where that goes and some kid might pick it up and, you don't know where that goes.
Well, we know he flunked his placement test how many times, so...
But he's not an idiot, though. He seems to be smart sometimes in this movie. That's what makes it weird.
Really?
Like sometimes you hear him talk. He has wits about him. He doesn't seem like he's a Bobby Collins dumb. He's smarter than Bobby Collins.
No. Let me tell you something about Lattimore. He almost raped a girl while killing her in the act and wondered why 3 games were so many. He spit in another dude's mouth and took it back. This is not a smart man.
You want to do that with me next time I see you?
I also thought, yes, let's try that.
You want to do that?
See what happens.
Fuck around and find out that space.
Yeah, I'll hit a bitch. You bitch. So yeah, he's not a smart guy at all. And then the fact that he thought he could get by telling people he lifted weights and gained 35 pounds in the summer. Don't give me that shit.
Yeah, Latimer's just
Jesus.
He wasn't very contrite. And then what's funny about all that is he gets off of suspension. He comes back and he's shit again. He's basically scout team player again.
No more juice.
And he has to get back on the roids, man. And that's when we see him do the piss catheter, reverse catheter, as they say, where he does a little
oil change.
Piss change, yeah, oil change. Yes. Oh man. I mean that his character, and then at the end, because we know they win it all. Go ahead.
Real quick, too. I'm sorry. Like, this is my other thing. Like, I don't know how this works because I've never done it. But when you're getting the piss change, this is the night before the game. Yeah. Do you have to hold your pee?
I don't know when we
So
don't know
then-
exactly when he did that.
Or how much pee did you get injected with? It looked like nighttime in his dorm.
Yeah.
How much pee did you get injected with?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, how long do you got to hold that? Because that's, the good pee.
I don't know. Maybe it was really early in the morning. We don't know
That
exactly.
could be.
And I can hold for a while. Like, I can go all day without peeing at work. So I could see being able to.
So not healthy.
You just don't want to add any more fluids than the ones you already had put
Right.
in you.
But God.
Because, eventually. And you don't want those fluids to go through the dirty you. You've got to.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It had to be like right before. It had to, we may not have just seen the cut was wrong for when we saw it.
But my other question then too is, do steroids work that fast? When you think about it this way. So all of a sudden he was shit again because he's been off steroids for 3 weeks. So then he gets back on them after he got bowled over.
I think they do.
That's crazy.
But I'll say that I'll from experience, I'll tell you this. Being
steroids?
asthmatic, I've had they once gave me a cortisone shot or whatever it was to help me breathe.
Yeah.
And it was like instantaneous. I felt like a new man, like I could breathe.
Right, but it's like, it's still just weird to me because like the dude's already jacked up. He's put on all that muscle.
Yeah.
And you're off steroids for 3 weeks, and then you get on them for like 4 days,
yeah,
if that, whatever.
I don't know what your cycle is like. I don't know.
You're a game wrecker again.
Maybe it's easier for him because he had already gained that muscle, and so to me, maybe.
But it was like he still had the muscle, so like, couldn't he just have like a Jolt Cola or something at halftime, and been like ready to go?
No, not at all.
I don't know.
But let's get to that ending. We know they win the game. We know they're going to win the game. I mean, it was the whole to me. This is kind of a great ending to a movie. The way this movie works, like we said, there's all these stories, and I feel the great part is how you have the highs going on, but you still have those lows happening at the same time. Like, Joe's father still never shows up.
Right.
Max, you still see him sullen because he couldn't be there. Latimer's crying because he let the coach down, because he has that scene where the coach looks at him when he comes off.
Yep.
And he knows he let him down, and that's why he's crying. And I think it's tears of joy. No, that's tears of disappointment. We have that, but then we have the highs. We have Darnell showing his test results to her father.
I am not the father.
Yeah, Kane, Kane got a high with
6-pack of Sprite.
With a 6-pack of Sprite. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I like that. And the coach obviously is going to keep going on. He's on the recruiting trail. Like, it never stops, as we know.
Right.
Like, the next day, here's your lineup of who we're talking to. So this movie, I think it does a real good job of showing us, the highs and the lows.
I think it did too. I mean, for as much stuff that doesn't age well in this movie, there's like a lot of that stuff. It's like, I'm not talking about like bad things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like you can't help that. It's not going to age, and you know that. But there's a lot in here that I do definitely think is still very prevalent today, and it does paint a good picture of that.
Yeah.
I got to say, I'm like, when I did the by the numbers earlier, I was really surprised. I'd never seen the box office for this. I thought
it would have been higher.
I thought it would have been a lot higher, especially the fact that we already had
it was.
Controversy with that highway scene.
Yeah.
All this shit, and the movie itself, I was like, who wouldn't want to go fucking see that?
I know. And I'm betting that's a box office score. I'm betting when it got to rental, it exploded.
Well, I also think, though, the one thing I could say about that is you had some known actors in this movie and actresses. You didn't have blockbuster A-level because Halle Berry at this time was not Halle
A-list.
Berry.
James Caan's your only A-lister in the movie.
And people in that age bracket aren't going to probably be like, we'll go see that, take the family to it.
Yeah. He played the coach very well, too.
And then also you have the rated R. That'll hurt your box office.
Yeah, but like I said, this thing did probably did gangbusters on the rental market. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
even today, it's probably still making money on rentals because there's nothing like it. They don't make movies like this, football movies that actually are decent, with football action that's decent. Although there's some little things. I saw a guy say Gibson with the block, and I looked at the back of the jersey. It was not Gibson. It was some other name. I was like, come on, man.
Maybe they meant with the block in the back on the other side of the field.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You said things that, wouldn't fly now, like the crackback blocks now that are not allowed to be done anymore.
Yep.
I don't even know if that's a penalty. I don't think the lineman's allowed to go low that anymore to do a block like that. I think that's against the rules. So that whole MAC thing would have been a thing. So things have changed, and maybe for the better. I don't know. The coach was trying to explain how to tackle to Latimer between the numbers, so he was still trying to teach the right way, even for today's standards, go through their chest.
Want to see snot bubbles?
Snot bubbles. That's like you said, you blew them. I've never blown snot bubbles because I got hit so hard. So
I did once. Damn.
Yeah, because you're kind of I don't know, a pussy. I don't know. Now I want to talk about
the politically correct term is vagina, asshole. I'm a vagina.
I haven't talked enough about Kane and his rehab. What's funny about this movie is it does not show us any of the rehab process. We don't see one group therapy. We don't see one discussion. The only thing we see is him turning down a phone call in a robe and making some sort of notes while he's listening to the game.
Yep.
That's it. That's all we saw. I thought that was interesting.
I don't know. This movie was pretty long in the first place, so it's over 2 hours.
Do you think they cut those scenes? I think there had to be some, because there's no way.
I'm sure there was, yes.
He has to talk about his father, and he has to talk about why he's there, and because that's really, we know that it's really the issues with his family that he has that makes him do the things he does, and that's why he goes and see his father, and his father ends up not going, and he's fine with that because. And I think one of James Caan's best things was that speech he gave to him right before he went out there the second half. Yeah. Or on that last drive, he said, you're the one who has to do it, and don't worry about
your father.
That's what makes him a good coach, right? He knows everybody's problem.
He could have just been like, Joe, I am your father.
I'm your father now. I'm your captain now. Oh. So he knows exactly what to say. He said the right thing. He said, that's your family out there. And that's why when he went out there, he was okay that his father wasn't there. I mean, the way they did that made the coach, it was excellent. I mean, he was a good coach. Like I say, he's a good coach.
Right.
He's just
not necessarily a good human being, but a good coach.
He doesn't, he sometimes has to go on that line that he probably doesn't want to.
He's not overly egregious with it. But, and again, hey, he's
not Jimmy Johnson.
He's trying to feed his family.
Yeah.
If he has one. We don't even know that.
Was this a Big Ten school? Because it played two Big Ten schools, but it also played an SEC and Mississippi State. It played Georgia Tech, which is ACC. So I was trying to think, though, because they went up to Cleveland to look at Darnell.
Yeah.
I was like, which school are they? If, I was like, it made me wonder, like, what school is this supposed to be?
Like, to me, I mean, the uniforms had a Florida State vibe to me.
But they were not. It was not a Florida State campus
with the color scheme and everything. No, I'm saying as far as like, again, it's fictional, but what kind of team you're drawing from as far as like a loosely?
I thought Boston College, same colors.
No.
Eastern State, Eastern.
No.
I know where it was filmed. It was filmed in like Duke and South Carolina.
You're not getting that quality of talent on Boston College.
Back then, I don't know.
At the same time, no.
I mean, Matt Ryan went to Boston College, and he's one of the better quarterbacks
for
years.
But did he have also 8 potential NFL players on his team like this team?
No. So
that's what I'm saying. But
I don't know what team that is. I don't know.
I feel like they did it vaguely enough that it's not really supposed to resemble anybody, but there were hints of different things with that team. I
Yeah.
will. Let me also say, so this is one of my 6-packs too.
Go ahead.
Is actually the school itself, Wolfpack. It's It's like, I mean, there is a Wolfpack there. I know this, but
Dude, my wife heard that stadium
like
doing the ow, and
generic,
she was like, "What the fuck is that?"
but not generic. And like, I think the uniforms were cool. It
Yeah,
wasn't, you know what I mean?
that was a good fake school.
It was a good fake school, yes.
Although that stadium wasn't holding 80,000 like they said. I don't think it
Not
was.
fucking at all. No.
Did you like that?
But
Ow.
hold on. I gotta get my other 6-pack too.
Uh-huh.
That you said that was my other 6-pack. Did you ever have 80,000 people come watch me take a goddamn chemistry exam?
Yes.
Chemistry experiment.
Yeah, for a chemistry experiment. You know, that argument is something that they make all the time. And I don't know when Title IX happened, but it had to happen somewhere around this time
Well,
where they had to start funding all the other sports a
I
lot
just
more.
say that whole meeting.
Yes. He didn't want to be there, obviously. That's when he had to be a bad coach he didn't want to be.
But here's the thing. My biggest thing with that is, and they mentioned this in here too. If you're gonna let him back in, let the girl back in too. Because they even said nobody's letting the girl back in that helped him cheat. How are you gonna let him back in and not let the girl back in that helped him cheat?
I don't know. I agree. The girl should have been back in. Of course, she did go to junior college, so maybe it's a little harder to come back once you've committed to doing something else. I don't know how that works. He probably never left campus, and
Waiting around.
And I don't know why they had to throw shade on Mac in that thing. Like, we gave him a second chance. He's got...
Yeah, Mac, because they did. Mac, that was really sad, though. And as a kid watching that, I'm like, even though I know he didn't take his shit seriously with school, and you can look at it and say, you had a free education here, you didn't take any advantage of it. It was so hard to watch that, though. Like,
yeah, Mac is the hardest one to watch, because if he would have just taken it seriously, the education part of it,
or if he had just faked an injury his senior year and been like, I can't play till I go pro.
Yeah, he would never do that. But he's so savant on football. I feel that he's a coach. He's a linebacker coach.
Here's the thing. How about this? A sequel to this. Could that be done?
Now, I don't know. The program 30 years on.
Like Mac is a coach in some
He's capacity. A coach, a defensive coordinator, and Craig Sheffer's a head coach. Bobby Collins is the offensive coordinator, or Darnell.
How about they're all staff members of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, or somewhere. Has to be a fake. Has to be some weird fake.
No, you can go NFL now.
Now, do you want a Joe Kane jersey for your fake team collection?
I do.
Okay.
I was gonna. Well,
we'll get into that.
All right.
I do want to go over a couple things. We go the ending of the movie. Obviously, they win the game. The only thing I didn't like about the end, and I'm not going to call it generic, but it just kind of annoyed me, was the fumble then pass thing bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't like, he could have faked it and then just had a little stumble and then picked himself up and throw. He didn't have to fumble it.
I know. I felt like they just had to add something to it. Which
that was a little too much.
I think it's not too much, but I think they could have added something differently to the play, made it different.
Now, something about this movie
going on with play
is, unlike Keanu Reeves, they did show Craig Sheffer throwing the football. So he must have more ability at throwing that ball. Must be him and Scott Bakula. So my two favorites.
Yeah, it is really funny though, watching this, even as a kid when I was watching this. It's like, it's so hard to get some kind of wonderful out of your head when you're watching him play quarterback. So I still am ready for him to get his ass kicked.
I get it. He's kind of smug, but he's a good actor. I think he did some good movies. This was probably his biggest role.
Yeah.
To me, To me, it was. But he's been in other things. I just haven't followed his career as much lately. But it would be good for to do a 30th anniversary sequel see something.
It is funny though, like seeing like when you think about 80s villains, 80s and 90s, movie villains, especially in big movies, like kind of wonderful to see somebody go into a role like that where they're supposed to be not even really a hero, because I don't know if you can call him that in this movie.
He's like an uplifting, a figure that has redemptive qualities.
Right. He's an anti-hero.
He has redemptive. He overcomes and becomes better and wins the big game. So he is kind of a hero, but to his own story. It's the best way of saying it. He's not like anything you should aspire. You shouldn't aspire to be a drunk, and then so that you can fail and then win the big game.
Yes.
I think he wins the Heisman the next year.
See, that's what I'm like, I want to know what happened next year with this.
I want to know, did he win the fucking Heisman?
And for some of them, like I will tell you seriously, it'll never happen, but I would love to see a sequel of this and what they could do with it.
Now, I do want to go over the one thing that I said I wanted to tell a fact on, and that's the stunts. Because, the thing that they didn't get, that I think the context of the things that Joe did, like standing in front of the train and the motorcycle thing, lose a little context on how they helped get his edge, as he called it.
Yeah.
Because of a scene that we talked about. And I'll say what it is. The original release of the film contained a scene where several ESU players lay on the yellow dividing line of a busy local road as a test of their courage when 2 young men were killed and several others injured by imitating the stunt. Buena Vista excised the scene from the film. No post-theatrical versions of the movie feature the sequence, leading many to speculate that the studio destroyed the actual camera negatives of the scene. However, the scene can be found on YouTube. So there you go.
I did watch that today.
And I think you lose the context of how it wasn't just him. He did these crazy stunts so they would get that adrenaline rush, that edge, And I think when you watch it without this scene in there, you're kind of like, why is he so crazy?
I know. I don't agree with that. I don't think so anyways, from my viewing of the movie.
Yeah, okay.
You already know he's a drunk and a fuck up. And that's how he views himself. He's sitting here as this quarterback that's like, but then I go home, my dad's putting beer cans on the Christmas tree. Like, this is who I am. I'm not this guy. I don't know why people look at me this way. That's how he views himself. And unmute yourself, dipshit.
Okay.
There you go.
Don't fucking call me names. I hit a button on accident. I was just, whatever. You know what I think? I think you need to just quit being an asshole.
I don't know. You can't just quit being something. You just are or you aren't. So yeah,
I agree.
I think, I don't know. I remember seeing that in the previews, and then it's not in the movie. But I've always, I've seen the movie tons of times without that scene in it. And I don't know what that, honestly, I don't know what that really, I mean, it was definitely a interesting scene.
Yes.
That they did. And I don't know, I almost feel like it's almost overkill had they kept that in there of Joe.
Well, they did keep it in until they had excised it.
Shit with Joe that it's like, we get it. I don't know if we need to get it that much,
I can't believe so many people imitated it and got hurt.
I can, because people are stupid. That's why they eat fucking Tide Pods.
But there's no YouTube back then. Well, who were they doing it for? That's the question. You weren't even getting any hits or likes.
But when you think about this, so you're looking at it kind of the way you're talking is he's leading these guys. He'll do anything, but he's not doing anything for them. This is not team leadership. This is, I'm fucking drunk as shit and I'm going to lay down the fucking road and I don't care.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it that way, I mean,
that's kind of what it is to me when I saw the scene again and watched it on YouTube. I'm like, you're drunk out of your mind.
And you just don't give a shit.
You're just going to show off and do something stupid that may kill you. And that's basically how you roll.
Because he thinks he's going to fuck up at some point anyway. It's because his family history.
You know. So, like, I will say, seriously, like, there could definitely be some kind of sequel to this.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'd have to see. I mean, they're doing fucking Christmas stories,
like,
so they might as well
Lattimore
do this.
is teaching Bible school. He found Jesus.
Did he? I don't know. It's another generic. His paint at the end of that game on his face. I'm sorry, Lattimore.
Yes.
Maybe he went to clown school. He went to clown school.
Well,
he became a clown because that makeup work was.
There were some football players that got crazy with their makeup, with the face paint. Remember John Randall?
He would just do the black streak down his.
It's still same thing.
Yeah, but not like Latimer. Like that's.
Oh, he went all out for sure. Intimidation.
He's a Halloween makeup.
But yeah, I would really like to know what happened to some of these characters.
I agree. We'll never know.
We might. Who knows?
Maybe we will, but I'm guessing we never will. We'll have to use our imaginations now. I think it's time for us to go to your favorite part of this.
Yes.
And what is that?
That is paraphernalia time.
Paraphernalia?
Memorabilia. We don't want the syringes. I was just kidding.
Okay, I was going to say, I got some paraphernalia. No, memorabilia. What do you want from this movie? I know what I want.
I already said. So I if I can, I want to say two things.
Go ahead, say whatever you want.
If I can have two things, I would want Joe Kane's jersey and a Wolfpack helmet.
That's pretty cool. That's
what I would want.
I would want Joe Kane's Harley.
There you go.
Because I think that would be cool to display in the house. I'd be like, what's that? Joe Kane's Harley from the movie?
Joe Kane almost died on this like 15 times.
You remember The Quarry?
Every week.
He did not pull a Bill Murray on his motorcycle.
Oh, you want to know a really random one?
Yeah.
About Christy Swanson's knee brace.
Yeah, that's the most random item you could get from the movie. You're right. That would be Darnell's test results.
No, that was a sweaty helmet. Fuck that.
No, Mac Davis's cast.
Oh, no, the door knocker.
The door knocker.
How
we didn't even talk about that. He buys her that fucking beautiful door knocker for the house he's gonna buy her, and
when he goes pro.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when I keep saying like to do a sequel, I gotta say like I think the biggest reason I want any kind of sequel is just to know that Mac's okay.
Yeah. You just want to know everything turned out okay.
Something happened for him.
He's not working at a local restaurant, like doing dishes or something, like which is an admirable profession, but for someone who's was this high on the high in the mountain.
He's now the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
I was gonna say the Indianapolis Colts 7U or 11U, 11 under, he's the local Pee-wee coach.
Since we're talking about football, have you seen that whole thing about Bill Cowher?
No, I haven't. What's going on?
So the whole Jeff Saturday thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, he went off on him.
And he fucking went off.
Yeah.
The disgrace.
On CBS on Sunday.
Right.
Yes.
How fucking idiotic is he?
Who, Bill Cowher or Jeff Saturday?
Bill Cowher.
See, Bill Cowher believes there's a certain respect in the profession for people who've paid their dues.
Right.
He feels Jeff Saturday has
question for you. What did Bill Cowher do and has done since the fucking 15 seconds after he left coaching?
He's a TV guy. But
exactly.
But that's because he was a coach and he won Super Bowls and
No. Exactly my point.
Yeah, he
got into a profession where he had no motherfucking experience, training, or any dues paid whatsoever.
But he had the expertise on the subject matter.
No. So does Jeff Saturday.
That's why he was a television personality just like him. But he doesn't have an expertise on coaching. So I understand Bill Cowher's
guess
anger.
what?
We don't need to argue this for people.
No. I'm just saying Bill Cowher's a fucking idiot for saying that. When
I'm not saying
he got a
he should have
job,
maybe done it differently. But
nothing based on any experience he had doing it. Same fucking thing.
I understand Bill Cowher's position as much as I understand Jeff Saturday's. So I feel both of them have the right to their opinions. One of them happens to be a little more accomplished at the position that the guy got.
I gotta tell you, the other reason I love the fact that Jeff Saturday got hired, I don't love it. I'm saying I am sick of recycling fucking coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, me too. So there's actually that too.
That's maybe the problem. So don't be bitching about paying your dues and all this stuff because they use the same fucking guys all the time. Doesn't matter what you did. If you suck at as a coach or if you suck as a human being, you're getting another fucking job. It's bullshit.
Yeah, we're done with that. Too. I'm with you there. So let's get on to rating this movie.
Yeah. Fuck football.
You go first.
Fuck football.
Fuck you.
I love football. I love it so much. I'd suck its tit. Yeah, let's go. So this is there, as we said, there is a lot of stuff that doesn't age well in this movie. But it's kind of one of those things you can't help that. It is what it is. There's certain movies you can't make that you're going to keep from aging, especially if you're doing a college-based movie and what's going on in the world and how people are. I do think there's definitely some cringy things in here, but I don't disagree with them doing it because sometimes you just got to lay down on the fucking highway. But no, seriously, this movie to me is one of my favorite sports movies. It really is. Like, I enjoy it. There's definitely some stuff I do different, but I would say like the actual football action in this, I think is really well done.
Yes.
I think the practice scene with Welcome to the Jungle and their,
I told you.
That's some good shit there. And again, like I think one of the biggest issues I really have just watching it again is the fact that it's a 90s movie and you can't get around that. You can't get around it. You really can't. Like, it's like, fuck.
The guy who punches him wearing, it looks like a Bugle Boy ad.
Yeah, exactly. That stuff. It's like when I was, joke I always make when my wife's watching all of her fucking Hallmark Christmas movies. It's like you're watching a goddamn J. Crew commercial. But, with that said, I think the biggest thing about this movie that I can give it is they went at it. They tackled subjects that were legit, that this is what's fucking going on, So I give them huge props for that because that's a big deal, It's like, but it's the elephant in the room. Like, everybody knows what goes on in college football and what is done and what's not done about it. So, but they went there, they did that. For me, it's just a fun movie to watch. I just still like it. Like, it's a good fucking football movie to me.
All right.
So I'm going to say, I got to go up there with it. I give it 18.
Wow.
18 cans.
Wow, man. I'm
a program fan. I'm a fan of the program.
You fall in love real easy.
I will hurt the program if they try to rape my daughter. I will hurt the program. I'm not going to not hurt the program for that.
You don't have a daughter, so I don't think we're going to worry about that. So, but anyways, so yeah, I agree with you on many of the things you said. It tackled a lot of subjects, may have bit off a little more than it can chew. It's like Johnny Be Good, how I said it was had too many different directions. That was too many different directions in a bad way. This at least squared the circles a little and got through some storylines and gave us some payoff and we understood and we could follow along. Could have focused maybe on a couple stories and like the whole Bobby Collins thing probably couldn't have been in this movie if you ask me. Probably didn't need to be. No. Or he could have just been sleeping with the guy's daughter. Didn't have to be cheating or, there could have been just And it could have shortened the movie a little bit, is all I'm saying. We didn't have to worry about getting the second string backup quarterback.
One thing I will say with that, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I know you're doing your shit.
Yeah, right.
But I do think it actually does give you a perspective of being a coach.
I was gonna say the only thing it gives you is the coach having to compromise his values
because he's
about
coach is dealing with a lot more than that because there's a lot more fucking players on that team.
He has to vouch for a guy because the boosters want him back that fucked his daughter and cheated and had her cheat on a test for him. So I give you that. But other than that, I just think what I'm saying is like it probably could have been made a little leaner.
Give them credit. Give them credit.
Hey,
I guess it didn't involve a kicker.
Yeah, it didn't involve a kicker.
Think about that storyline.
But I like the movie. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's quite where you think it's at. I think, I was just looking so I understood where I was at with it. Think of Necessary Roughness. I gave that like 12.5. Just above average. I enjoy it. It's fun, but is it cinema that's excellent? No. This is better cinema than that. It has a few more gripping stories. So I gave it a little better score, 14. That's where I'm at with it. So just a little better.
Okay. I'm good with that.
But I think this movie, what people don't understand, it's a cult classic, and it had this impact based on its subject matter and the controversial scene, and a lot of people watched it, and I think people now don't understand how a movie like that was so popular, but it made so little money.
Here's what's funny to me, and this is why I think partly why I give this such a high score. First, just because I enjoy the movie. Watching it again, it's cringy, just with the 90s vibe to it.
And Latimer.
It is what it is, and Latimer for sure. But I will say, you watch Any Given Sunday.
Oh, good movie.
I think that's one of the most comparable movies to this that,
I think that's better acting.
When there's, as far as a realistic approach to what they're doing,
I think the best part of that movie, though, is the speech at the end. Every inch. The inch speech is probably, I feel that movie was made so that Pacino could give that speech.
Every given Sunday? No. The best part is the very, very end where he's like,
"Oh,
I'm going to coach that team in Albuquerque." And I decide Willie Beeman to be my starting quarterback. Fuck you.
Yeah, that is the greatest line of that. But the inch speech, I feel, is the reason Al Pacino did the movie in the first place. So he did that speech.
Like this, to me, I feel this is actually like better and more realistic to me than Any Given Sunday. Because it was partly because it's like fake, but not as fake. Any Given Sunday. So Any Given Sunday,
everything is fake.
The problem
about
with
that.
me is like when you
the
give
names of the teams, I know where you're going.
Generic Nintendo names for fucking teams.
The
would
Sharks.
Be on a Nintendo football game from 1982. Like I can't do that. That's tough. That's fucking tough. Now, when I see this and, it's a fake team, but they're playing against Michigan
and Iowa and
like
Mississippi State. And
those kind of things matter to me in a movie. But also, again, literally, like, I feel like the storylines to this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good shit in this. That's all.
There is. Now, you need to do something for us. You need to tell us where our score's at and what's comparable to this.
Okay, I thought you wanted me to try to bend over and pick my butt with my nose, but okay, I'll give scores. That's fine. We're at 16 here.
Obviously.
I
think I can do math.
No, you can't. Didn't we just establish that earlier that you can't do math that good?
No, I can do math.
Okay, just for anybody that, well, you didn't hear this earlier because we weren't recording this. He's like, this is an hour and 14 minutes long. What he meant to say was 114 minutes long because he kept telling me it's like a 2-hour movie. And like, it's an hour and 14 minutes? What? It's an hour and 14 minutes.
Didn't misunderstand.
120 minutes and 2 hours, right? It's like,
I misspoke. Like, I didn't misunderstand.
But an hour and 14 minute movie. It's almost 2 hours.
Tell us what this is next to. Tell us what we've rated similarly to this.
I will say this is right next to your IQ. We're at 16. You're at 15 and a half. Dirty Dancing. Oh, I'm sorry. Commando. 16.75.
Commando's a better movie than this, though.
I gave it the same score, so yeah, I'm okay with that. Do we got our 16ers in here? Over the top, 16.75.
You gave that too high of a score.
Mean Girls, 16. Now, this was also with your daughter's score factored in.
Yeah.
But I gave it the same, 18.
Wow.
And
yeah.
Would you give this 16 or 14? No, that was it. Mean Girls, you gave it 14. I gave it 18. Same thing.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Oh.
What?
Wayne's World, same thing. 18 for me, 14 for you.
There you go. And it's about the same time within
It's
the
like-
same time period,
This is
too.
the same stuff that would be on our video shelves right now and the same rate that we would pick it out to watch.
That's weird. That is weird.
I'm telling you, some of the shit, the way these average out, it is really fucking weird. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I
I really don't know how, but we're doing
We
something
need-
right or something really wrong. I don't know.
We need to get a list of our ratings and then
Summer
publish them
School.
on the website. What?
Summer School, 16.82.
I enjoy Summer School better than this movie.
All right, well, you gave it a 15.64 because you're a
I was
douchebag.
being a jerk that day, but it
Yeah,
did give it a
you were.
higher score.
Let's look at the other days you were being a jerk. Anytime I see a decimal, those are the days you're being a jerk. Independence Day, 16.
Yeah.
How about that?
That movie was not that good. And
That's
second
close.
watching.
You gave it a 15. I gave it 17.
Yeah. It's not that good. Not as good as it was when I first watched it back then.
Yeah.
It definitely suffers with age, for sure. I mean, Jeff Goldblum, he's glorious, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
So
So there we go. That's it. All right.
that's it.
Well, we would like to thank you for listening. We also want to remind you to join our Patreon so you can get some of that bonus content and other fun stuff. Remember, you can go to sodapopcultureclub.com for all things related to the show, including your chance to make movie suggestions, and our episode schedule is there as well. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and we have a Twitch channel. And that's about it, because Anthony has quit giving hints to what our next movies are, because he probably don't even fucking know what they are, because he doesn't look at the schedule.
I don't even know what movie we just fucking did.
You don't know what movie we just did? We
What
just
did we just
did
do?
the program.
Oh yeah. That one.
And that's the last. This
a
should be the
movie-
last movie that is going to be our last one for November. So our December series comes out, which is mostly holiday related.
Woohoo!
So in the first one of that is a Bill Murray joint. So
Word up.
and
Yeah.
you've seen it 8 million times.
Yes. Louder milk. Thank you guys for listening. Please drop us a comment, hook it up, pay us some money, get on the petition to bring back Ninja Turtle cereal too, because that shit was so fucking dope.
Fucking sucker, say?